Hey everyone, welcome back again. This was kind of an unexpected little thing. I decided today that I was going to go check out a game store. I took some little footage while I was in the store. I'm not really sure how it turned out, so we'll see. How that works, editing it into this video. I would like to kind of show what the layout of the store looked like. It's called Retro Replay in Bel Air, Maryland. I got some pretty cool stuff. As you can see, I'm really excited. I was blown away by the selection at the store. Yeah, when I first walked in, and I should have video of this, I just was like, I was surprised at how big it was, and like they have a big selection of like VHS tapes and like a lot of stuff that I kind of wanted, but I didn't want to like carry a bunch of VHS tapes, but I should have. So I'll have to go back. But let's get right into the pickups, the stuff that I got, because I know I like doing these videos showing off what I picked up. Recently I kind of decided that I might be like done with eBay, so I'm gonna try and only do like physical store pickups, in-person pickups, like, you know, conventions, stores, stuff like that. I just think it's more fun that way, you know. It's still impulsive, but it's like less impulsive because you have to drive out and there's more like thought into it, and it's just like the way I was used to doing it as a kid. So yeah, so oh man, where to start? So let's start here with these Game Boy games. So we've got Punisher for Game Boy. I've never played this. I don't know much about it. I just love the Punisher, and I love these old like Marvel Game Boy games. I know they might not be the best, but it's okay. I'll forgive them because I still think they're cool. And this is a neat little cover. It's from Acclaim, so it might not be that bad. It's not LJN, so that's a plus. So we'll move that one over there. Another Game Boy game I picked up. I didn't even know they made this. Alpha for freaking Game Boy Color. That's awesome. So I love random Alpha ports. I love Street Fighter Alpha. I love Third Strike. I like fighting games. So, you know, I'm always a sucker for a weird port. So that's why I thought picking that up would be kind of cool. Next, Joe and Mac 2. I can't remember if it's Joe and Mac or Joe and Mac 2, but I have fond memories of Joe and Mac. I remember like as a kid, my parents had some friends up in New York, and their son had a Super Nintendo, and we used to play Joe and Mac on it, and I used to like love that game, even though we couldn't get past like the second level, but doesn't matter. It was still an awesome game, and I can't remember. It might have been Joe and Mac 2. Honestly, I'll have to play it again and see if it starts bringing back some memories, but had to pick this one up just because it just reminded me of that childhood memory. So Joe and Mac 2. This one I don't really know about. Peacekeepers by Jellico. The cover kind of got me. It looked really cool, the Peacekeepers. So we'll check it out and see what it's all about. I have no idea what this game's about, but it just kind of stuck out to me when I was looking through the case. So the Peacekeepers. I love working designs, and I love shooters, and this game just looks sick. Raystorm. I mean, I have most of the working design RPGs I have all of them for PlayStation and even Sega CD, but I don't have all these shooters, so I was really excited to pick this one up. This looks really cool, and I'll probably have to do a video on this just because this looks This looks freaking awesome, and I can't believe I had never heard of this before. But another one that I was in there looking around, and this one kind of just stuck out to me. So decided to pick it up. Another one that was actually right next to it, another working design, shoot 'em up. Thunder Force 5. I have the Thunder Force games for Genesis, so I figured I gotta have this. So, and these PlayStation titles are getting harder and harder to come across. So, you know, it wasn't necessarily something that was on my radar, but I saw it and I thought it looked cool, and, you know, just had to double check, make sure I didn't own it, and I figured, screw it, why not? So I picked it up. Looks pretty awesome. Thunder Force 5. This one everybody knows. I had this growing up, and I lost the disc, and now it's just, the price keeps going up and up and up. The more I wait, the more expensive it gets. So I figured I'd just pull the trigger. Sonic Adventure 2. I mean, you can't go wrong. I think I might have to go back and play the Sonic Adventure games. Sonic Adventure 1 is like one of my all-time favorites, if not my all-time favorite Sonic game. And I liked Sonic Adventure 2, but it was hard for me. I think it was more difficult, and I had a hard time getting through some of the stages. I don't think I was ever able to beat it. So I'll have to go back and give it another shot, because I really loved Sonic Adventure 1, and I'm having flashbacks to my room as a kid where I would just like always try to restart this game because I always wanted to get into it, but I just never could. So I'm giving this another chance because it's Sonic Team, it's Dreamcast, it's everything I love. So this will definitely get another shot at some point. And for my Saturn collection, you know, this isn't the nicest copy of Primal Rage. The manual is like, it was a rental, I think. There's like tape all over it and shit, so. But whatever, the manual's there, and, you know, I just want a working collection. I don't need a perfect collection of Saturn stuff, so. This was the only Saturn game that they had that I didn't own. They didn't have many Saturn games. You know, Saturn is tough to come by. So I'm always stoked to add another Saturn game to my collection. I'm trying to go complete, so I think I might be at like below 50 at this point with this. So that's exciting. And it's going to be even harder now that I'm not going to be enlisting the help of eBay. So I'm going to need all the help I can get with finding these out there. So Primal Rage, you know, I have good memories of Primal Rage too, like playing it at like the arcade and stuff. Back then it was really cool, even though it's kind of a shitty fighting game. But I was just button mashing back then anyway, so it doesn't matter. Alright, then we have Alicia Dragoon. This doesn't have the manual, but this one I've wanted. I wrote this down a while back, and I can't remember why, but I had it in my list of games to look out for, and it was there, and, you know, maybe I'll stumble across the manual at a convention or something, so, oh well. But this game looks freaking awesome. Like, it looks like kind of like a renovation title, but I don't think it is, so it looks cool. Side scroller, Alicia Dragoon, awesome. Looks sweet. I love me some Genesis. You know, I'm a big Sega fan, so just finding being able to add pieces to my Sega collection is important. They had a lot of Game Gear stuff there too, but I kind of I don't know, I was already spending a lot, so I shied away from the Game Gear. Alright, let's get into the NES stuff, and then I'll save the tapes for last, just because some of you might not give a shit about VHS tapes. So these are I'm gonna blow through, because this is for my complete NES set. So we've got Magic Darts. Don't know anything about this, I just didn't have it. We've got Phantom Fighter. Little rough, but these were all from like the cheaper bin, so they were like 10, 11 bucks. Heavy Shreddin', you know, probably not the greatest game, but hey, I like snowboarding. I'm a snowboarder, so I got a kick out of this. And it's funny when I'm like going through the NES games now, I can tell by like the top if I have it or not, just on the like the look of I'm like just pulling out stuff. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. Because I'm not necessarily like looking at my NES games all the time, but you just kind of have an idea of what things look like for some reason. I don't know. It's like a hunter-gatherer mentality. Fisher Price for Perfect Fit. I know. We'll move on. Adventures of Tom Sawyer. Don't count that one out. That one could be cool. Adventure Island 2. I think all I need is Adventure Island 3 now, and I should have all those, so... And I mean, like, bargain bin. I couldn't believe it. This was, like, under 20 bucks. That's a good... I think that's a good deal. Dracula. I think that's an uncommon game. I think I had this one. Shrusenlad. I couldn't remember, and I didn't want to get home and be like, oh, shit. I should have got that, so... This is more than likely a double, but... And another Sesame Street Countdown, thus completing the Sesame Street end of my NES collection. I know. It's a milestone. It's an impressive milestone. The Jackie Chan Action Kung Fu. Excited about this one. I passed up on this one at Comic-Con because it was like destroyed and expensive, and I'm happy I did because this is a better copy. Ghoul School. I don't know anything about this, but I don't have it, and it looks pretty interesting. Wampum. I think this is an arcade game, but I'm not 100% sure. And then Super Spy Hunter. So, I mean, that's some good additions to my NES collection. We're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 13, or no, maybe 13, probably 12. And then last but not least, maybe least to some of you, but not least to me. I mean, this was, when I got into that store, I made a beeline for the VHS tapes. Granted, I did peek at what was on the wall and in like the showcase, because usually like if they're gonna have something really crazy that I might really need, or not like need, but I might want for my collection, I always like to check there first, and then I kind of poke around. There's not something that I'm like, oh man, like I've been looking for that. Like if I saw Contra Legacy of War for the Saturn there, like that would have been an oh man moment, you know. So, but I'm pretty happy with how I did. So anyways, back to the tapes. So they had some other cool tapes there, but I kind of zeroed in a little bit. Not really. I should have. Whatever. The great thing about VHS tapes is that not a lot of people are going to stores and buying them. So I think that if I go back in about a month or two, the VHS tapes that I'm thinking of are still there. Or I'll have forgotten about them by that time and it won't matter anymore. So, whatever. Either way, it'll be fine. Alright, so Dune on VHS. I have this on beta. And I love this movie. I have it on like Blu-ray also, but I figured why not get it on VHS. Freaking David Lynch's Dune. Classic. Fantastic film. Blind Fury. I have this on Blu-ray and 4K as well, but it's always fun to have it on VHS. And Rutger Hauer, I didn't realize that it was Rutger Hauer, or else I probably would have watched this movie sooner, because I've been putting off... Oh. Yeah, I've been kind of putting off watching this. I think I have this. I might be thinking of Six String Samurai, actually. Anyway, shitty action movies. Thumbs up. Love that shit. Shud. I've never seen this. I've heard of it. It's like a horror movie, real campy 80s horror movie. Daniel Stern. from Home Alone fame. So I just had to grab it. It's in good shape too. This is a good VHS tape. Double Impact. I'm believe it or not, I'm going for a Van Damme complete VHS set. I know. It's a lofty goal to set for myself, but you know, when I see Van Damme tapes, I gotta grab them. So, Double Impact. This movie's awesome. This is a freaking classic Van Damme film. I mean, he's acting with himself in this movie. So like, just like stop and think about that for a second. It's like Van Damme with Van Damme. So I mean, you're getting double the Van Damme. Basically double the fun. So you can't go wrong with Double Impact. It's awesome. I love Double Impact. And then Raw Deal. Raw Deal's a good one too. I don't know why. In retrospect, I don't really know why. I think it was the green sticker. It meant that it was a $5 VHS tape. So that kind of, I guess I picked it up and I saw that. I love action movies, so I can't really say that it was a bad pick. And then, last but not least, Jean-Claude Van Damme classic, Sudden Death. I would argue that this is like the end of his like box office smash period. Like this is like the last real like hit movie I think he did. I think. Don't like take my word on that, but that's like in my mind. In my mind, this feels like the last like movie that had like a really huge budget and he was like still like on top. I think after this he started slipping a little bit with like Double Team and all those weird ones, Knock Off and stuff. But, you know, they're still excellent movies and I love me some Jean-Claude Van Damme. So, happy to add these tapes to my collection. I'm just a big tape collector too. I mean, I love movies and I love VHS because there's just... I don't know. It's my childhood, so it kind of takes me back to that childhood. I never thought that I would be into these. Like, I was like, when DVD came around, I think as all of us were, I was like, VHS needs that shit. And then, like, a couple of years back, my friend, like, and I started watching some old Hong Kong tapes together, and I started, like, just remembering the magic of VHS, and, like... You know, once you start watching them, there's just something about it. It's like playing old video games. So it all kind of falls in. So I hope you enjoyed this pickups video. I had a lot of fun making it, and it was just, yeah, I'm hoping to do one of these like every couple months or month or so. You know, maybe not to this scale, but at least, you know, something, since I'm going to be trying to curtail the internet for my collecting needs. So we'll see how that goes. What do you guys use? Do you mostly shop on eBay to collect, or what are your methods? You going out still and buying things, or using OfferUp? I'd be interested to hear. So let me know in the comments. All right, appreciate you checking out this video, and we'll see you next time.